Juggalos in recovery. Juggalos in recovery. Juggalos in recovery.
So, the song for this week was "My Fun House" off of Ringmaster, and the principle behind it that I was thinking of is being haunted by your past. We talk about your past all the time. We talk about making amends, and sometimes there's some shit that you can't make amends for that's gonna bug you. The idea of reflecting on yourself is part of the process of accepting who you are and also who you were. But what do you do when you have a past that's kind of fucked up? I know for me, almost everyone I drank and drugged with is dead. And that hit me pretty hard when I was fully stable and sober. All my dealers, dead. And most of the crew that I ran with at that time, dead. I was with a I was one of the few people that just didn't end up dying from excess, even though I went just as hard in the paint as everybody else. But the hard part is accepting the fact that while I didn't put the drugs or the drinks in their hand or force them to do it, I played a part in that abuse. I went hard in everything I've ever done. As you can see, I'm still up here, second meeting this week that I've hosted. I was never just casual with it. It wasn't, let's go do a line, let's go pop a fucking perk, let's go fucking go rolling out at the club. It was always let's do a rail, let's kill a handle, let's go see what we can score and everything that we can get. It was always handles and ounces. It wasn't just a beer or let's smoke a bowl. It was always way more than was necessary. A good example is a New Year's party I was at when I was 17. I got as much shit together as I possibly could. I came rolling in with a duffel bag full of various party accessories that I could acquire. Everything from morphine down to ecstasy, couple of handles. It was great. When I got to that party, the host of that party had 2 6 packs and a couple of joints ready for the party goers. So, I was the life of the party. I was what brought everything together for that. I let people go way harder than they probably would have left to their own devices. But reflecting on that is, I didn't make them do those things. I just made it accessible to them. Everything else that happened that night was their choice. Just because I may have made those things accessible doesn't mean that it was my fault that those people did those things. And that's one of the hardest things to really think about is that while you may have made your own poor choice and done all of these crazy things, that was your decision. What everybody else did around you was on them. But that still doesn't always clear your mind. It doesn't always clear your consciousness. You're still playing a part in it. You still kind of let that happen, even though, it was to serve your own purpose. And that's where it can get kind of complicated. You only had control of you during those situations. I only had control of me during that situation. Just because I made those things accessible to these people doesn't make it my fault that they went harder than they probably wanted to initially because they freely partook of what I had to offer. In the end, we have to look back at our past and just kind of accept that it is. You can't change your past. You can only choose to reflect on it and accept it. And everybody else who was there in your past who also made the choice to drink and drug, that was their choice. You guys have anything you want to speak on that? Josie, you got some shit to say?
I do have shit to say, but sadly, because I'm outside, I'm trying to connect a better phone so I can actually hear everything because it's quiet in
Oh,
the rain.
oh, look at you go. And I know D is busy at work because we're staring at his wonderful ceiling. Oh, there he is.
I was say I see a ceiling fan.
Not busy. I'm playing on my jacket right now. Um, I don't know, man. Like, honestly, I can't say that I regret anything when it comes to that scenario. Like you were saying, everybody played their part. Like, nobody, I don't feel like anybody in my friend group from the party days holds responsibility for my actions nor mine theirs, you know? So I guess that's hard for me to relate to, and anything that I've had resentments or regrets over was more like personal childhood stuff, and I've come to terms with that because I can't hold family and people that I love that was close to me responsible for actions they did. I
Right.
can always
Oh, you
control
know,
how
and
something about it.
but like that's the whole point of it is like I've accepted that it is. You know, while I may have played a part in people going to excess, you know, that was their choice just as much as it was mine. You know, I'm sure you were at a point at some point when you provided drinks for a party. You know, you shouldn't feel bad because you let other people go to excess because that was their choice. You know, that's really kind of the whole point of what this is that just because you participated doesn't mean you forced somebody's hand. Hi, Stacy.
What?
I don't know. You were just staring real hard.
Oh, my TV's on. Sorry.
I don't know. It's okay. It just looked like you were like deadpan staring at me. It was weird.
No, I wasn't staring at you.
You can't be making eyes at me like that, Stacy. Like, anybody else got some shit to say on what this topic's about?
What is the topic?
It's the idea of being haunted by your past. And the only thing I could really come up with was being a person that provided the party.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people that probably feel bad about that. Have you ever had anything like that where, you know, you had a big old house party and people went too crazy?
No.
Yeah. God, your life is boring.
Yeah. Well, I was too busy doing rodeo stuff when I was younger, and then I had my first kid when I was 19.
Wow. I feel like an asshole.
Don't.
Man, rodeo life. What the fuck is that about?
What?
What kind of rodeo life were you in?
Barrel racing.
Ugh. I did that briefly for about 6 months. I
It's
hadn't hit
life.
puberty yet, so it was okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I totally missed what you were saying because I had somebody trying to talk to me.
We were talking about barrel racing.
No, your response to my thing, I forgot.
It was just the idea of being the one who provides the party shouldn't make you feel guilty for other people going to excess.
I was the life of the party. Come on now.
Yeah, exactly.
I brought the
I am
shenanigans.
same. But you know, some people feel bad about being the life of the party.
Even
You know, some
coax people to do more. Take another shot, pussy.
Uh-huh. I'd load up the beer pong with Everclear because I'm a terrible influence.
I mean, if anything, I might have turned some people away from being drug addicts and alcoholics by making them go too hard, and then going, I
Exactly.
never want to do that again.
Yeah, no. I never dosed anybody, but still, you know.
But wife and kids, I was in prison.
Yeah.
Now,
Jesus.
okay, having your past haunt you, my choices I made during alcohol and drug addiction haunted me. My criminal choices, for sure. Even the longer I get away from them, you know what I mean? It's not as bad, but for sure, like those actions, like my first year out of prison after I did 4 years, I couldn't find a job. You know,
Yeah, I will not talk about my criminal activity too much on anything that gets recorded because there are a handful of things
I've already
that
served my
can.
time, so I'm an open book. I don't give a shit.
Yeah. But with that, I am gonna end the recording so he can go off script.